Heads up, this episode is a little bit different from the usual style. We're diving into some important and meaningful conversations around depression and suicide. It's an open chat, so please do take care of yourself while listening. And if you or someone that you know needs support, you'll find helpful resources in the episode description. Also, just a quick note, we're coming up on a short mid-season break. There's one more episode to go before I take a little pause to focus on the busy wedding season that lies ahead, and I'll be back soon, before you know it, with some inspiring and thoughtful conversations with some interesting guests. But now, back to the episode. Hello, I'm Harrison Fletcher. I love talking to people and I love my industry, so I wanted to be a little bit selfish. I wanted to start a podcast that felt like an open but honest conversation, one that explores all sides of the industry. This podcast gets very real very fast. It's open, it's honest, it's vulnerable. It's for you. Keep it scruffy, keep it northern, keep it real.
Yeah, exactly, keep it northern.
Piece of paper with some ink on it.
What's an iPad? Don't have iPads out mine.
Oh, I think we just roll from there.
Yeah, man.
So, hello and welcome back to the Insight Podcast. You're joining with me, Harrison Fletcher, and today we've got a very exciting guest. Actually, I would say we're going to be discussing some really deep topics. So get ready for that. And yeah, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Cool. So my name's Tony. I'm a wedding filmmaker.
Tony.
My name's Tony. Just your normal guy shooting weddings, mate.
That's it. What an intro.
Yeah.
We'll just jump right into it then. So can you tell us how you got started in like the world of weddings? And I mean, you could give a little backstory, but I'm more interested to know how you went from doing your music stuff to then getting into the wedding industry.
Yeah, man. So I studied music, and then sort of naturally I feel like musicians tend to go into cover bands because it's an income that's quite easy to try and get.
Yeah.
So did that for years. Then got a girlfriend who was a wedding photographer.
All right.
Realised she charged the same as what we charged as a band. And I was like, oh.
And they're splitting it like 5 ways.
Yeah. And I was like, I think this needs to change.
Yeah.
Because I was already doing like vlogs with the band as well.
Oh,
so
right,
I was taking my camera out with me, like vlogging gigs and just giving the YouTube thing a go.
Yeah. What year was this roughly? When was this?
2017, 2018.
Oh,
so
right.
like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
before COVID. Looking back in the videos, they were cringe.
Yeah,
Like really
yeah.
trying to be a
Yeah.
proper YouTuber.
I think anything from that period though,
Oh, yeah.
it just is, innit? Like, I dabbled in the old YouTube scene for years and years. And yeah, it was the same for me when I look back at it. But it's one of the things where you look back and you think, that's like led you into doing
Yeah,
what you're doing
exactly.
today. So like part of it's like, oh, that's cringy, but then part of it's like, you know what, quite chuffed to myself, really.
Yeah. You learn from it. Like you look back at that and be like, cool, let's
Oh, you
try not
definitely
to
learn
be cringe now. It's just be like, again, like
Yeah.
I said before, I'm just a normal guy just shooting weddings.
Yeah, but
So it's like-
I think as well, you look back at it from like what it was like at that time as well, and obviously you're going to be like a bit like, oh, it's a bit cringy because it's seeing yourself younger and being a bit
Yeah.
But like I think you look back at it for like the time, it was a more unusual. Saying that 2017, I think vlogging were quite popular and quite common.
Had a Canon G7X Mark II.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
I remember it well.
But like nowadays, what I'm going to say is like nowadays, everyone's doing it. Everyone's talking to the phone, talking to the camera.
Yeah,
and,
literally.
But yeah, I've thrown you off track here.
No, that's good,
The
man.
train has definitely gone off the track
Yeah,
already.
here we go.
10 seconds in. But yeah, so go back to what you were saying again. So you were telling us about like, you realise you could sort of earn more
Yeah.
doing weddings really. Like
Yeah, man.
videography.
So yeah, started looking at the videographer. So it was going to be photo. Then some things happened with that relationship, and I was like, you know what, I want to do video instead because it's different.
Yeah.
So
That
yeah,
was literally the decision. Oh,
I just want to do something
it was
different.
like a screw you to photo, really.
Yeah. Literally. Don't want to be a photographer.
Yeah.
And then funny enough, I'm offering photography now.
He's gone back. He's back.
Yeah. I've healed.
I've healed from within. Had you never really picked up a camera? I know you said you'd done the vlogging and stuff, but had you never really like been interested in doing? Had you not seen it as a career or
I
anything?
never saw it as a career, so I always like enjoyed taking photos on my phone, like typical sort of thing like that.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the vlogging style stuff. I used to watch a lot of Peter McKinnon
Yeah.
on YouTube, like seeing how he used to edit his videos. Composed a little bit, but I didn't really understand what composition really was. I was just taking nice photos at the time.
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh, using like symmetry or rule of thirds and stuff. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for the observation, though.
Yeah.
I meant to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course I
I'm just fucking great at what I do.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
But yeah, just like started watching Peter McKinnon. There's another guy as well who does a lot of stuff with Peter McKinnon, but I can't remember his name now. Started watching some of their videos to get better at the editing side. And at first, it was all about how do I become like really good at editing, like using gimbals and like doing all the.
Yeah.
I'd say more like the American style of like videography.
Yeah.
Definitely is within the UK, but I think it's more prominent within America. And then started seeing other guys in the industry as you progress, you start seeing the bigger names. And then saw Richard Lang's work, and I was like, oh, I could want to do stuff like that. Like I really enjoy that, like shooting for the highlights, and it really resonated with me.
It's more of like a stripped back approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it keeps stuff super minimal, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's still like a bit of a pioneer. I don't really keep up to date with his stuff, but I think he's still pretty much a big like, shouts from the rooftops about like keeping stuff minimal still, which shows that you can still.
I know his eyesight's going bad because he's getting a little monitor. So, if you're watching this, you're getting old. Breaking a fourth wall there.
Yeah, that's fine. Do it all you want.
Hey, every time
the office.
Just give you
the audio listeners like, what's going on? What's happening? Yeah. So this is a little plug to watch it, the YouTube video as well.
Yeah,
Show the
you
YouTube
can
video.
see my face staring deeply into your soul.
Yeah, there we go. What would you say your experience is like with like client relationships? Like, how involved do you get? Is it and do you? What's the balance like there?
I read them, if that makes sense. So if they want me to be really involved and they like really excited and talk to me and they want to be best friends, I'll be their best friend and I'll talk to them. But on the flip side, if you just know that they just want you as a videographer, it's like, yeah, cool. It's not a problem. So it's like, for me, it's understanding what their level of expectation is from you and just matching it. Because there's no point me trying to be their best friend if they're like, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're just paying you some money here.
Yeah. Because I think you advertise as a little bit more of like your personality, I guess, which is like just like a chill guy.
Yeah.
So is that what you tend to see that you attract?
Yeah. So as I try and put films out there that are also sort of similar to that as well, like nice and chill, slow.
Yeah.
Obviously, when the wedding's more upbeat, then I'll start adding more upbeat edits in. Because it's suitable to the wedding.
Yeah.
But yeah, on a wedding morning, like I'm very good at matching energy. So if I get to the wedding, like bridal prep, and they're all going crazy, then it's like, yeah, cool, I'm in.
Yeah.
But if I get to the bridal prep and they're all like really calm and smooth, I'm like, yeah, cool. This is my time to not rock the boat as such.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit like that. And I tend to find it's photographers that tend to be a little bit more...
Hello.
Hi, I'm your best friend.
Yeah.
And even before the wedding, so not even talking about the wedding day, but like before the wedding, they tend to be more like generally just involved. I've got photographer mates that I'm really close with that I know like they make like group chats and like they're really involved. Like that's like becoming like, and the advertise a bit like, oh, I'm your best friend or whatever. I'm like a hype girl or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know if that's just because couples put more onto a photographer, if you know what I mean. Like I feel like they put more of like they put more pressure and weight on their shoulders, I guess, to be more of like the operator. But I know that there will be videographers out there that are saying like I get really involved as well, which is fair enough. But yeah, I'm the same as you. I tend to sort of take a bit of a step back.
And you attract what you put out, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to end that. Do you have any systems in place that like limit things? So like, how do you find that balance?
As in,
like, are you sort of limiting how often you're emailing people? Like, do you have like 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock I'm emailing, or are you constantly emailing? Like social media, do you have like times where you're going on like I'm going to go on for a bit?
Random.
Yeah.
It's all random. So I really dislike social media.
Yep. Okay.
Just in general, from a personal point of view, obviously for business, it's a necessary evil in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like we have to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really say there's limits in place. So for me, I'm in a very fortunate position where I'm single. I don't have any kids.
And you're ready to mingle.
Yeah.
Hey, 4th wall again.
4th wall again. I thought it was appropriate.
We're getting a record on this. So 4th wall breaks.
But yeah, obviously I see that as a fortunate position where my time really is mine. So I'm not like someone who's married who has to worry about like their wife coming home and they don't want to ignore them, which is obviously fair enough, or husband ignoring them, or they've got kids.
I do all the time, mate.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I'll just ignore
or they've got kids where they're like, right, kids are from school. I need this time with my kids.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I'm lucky where I can sort of start picking stuff when it feels the need to happen.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely I do have structures in place when it starts getting busy. So like right now, my season hasn't started yet. So mine's like mid-May, which is really weird. Just seeing everyone else shoot, and I'm like, I'm like raring to go.
I think you say this though, mate, but I think a lot of people are in the same boat. I think a lot of people have got a later season this year. I think this is a really strange year.
Yeah.
Which is getting mentioned a lot, but like, or is it? Are people actually talking about it?
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think they are as much as what is actually happening behind the scenes. If you're in the industry, you kind of know.
Yeah,
if you're not, people just don't obviously know about it. But
yeah,
it's a strange year. But yes, I don't think you're on your own with that. I think you see people posting things, but like, I think you're probably more sort of like, it's that, I don't know what they call it, but it's like an effect where like you're honing in on like, it sort of stands out more to you because you're not doing the shooting.
You're seeing everyone else
you're
doing
seeing
stuff.
it and you're like, shit. Like,
that's enough with social media, right? Like all you're doing is seeing people. Exactly.
Eric told me that. There you go. That's the Eric word. I don't know if Eric nicked it off someone, but I've credited Eric quite a few times in the last
standing
episodes.
On the shoulders of giants, man.
So what has been some of your more personal achievements in the industry?
So achievements in the industry is just really honing in on what I want to shoot. And the style I want to shoot at, but not going too far where it's completely abstract to the point where it's not suitable for a wedding. So like I say, like shooting for the highlights, I enjoy doing that sort of stuff, being really calm and present. I like, if you ever seen Ripley on Netflix, it's everything's composed perfectly for a reason as well. They explain that.
I've not actually seen it, but I've heard a lot of people raving about it.
So good.
Yeah.
So every shot is composed perfectly.
Yeah.
And it starts to make you feel quite uncomfortable after a while because every shot is too perfect. But that's to make you feel uncomfortable about the character of Ripley himself anyway.
Yeah.
So it's really cleverly done. Done that. So I enjoy the fact that it's a still camera and the subject is doing the movement.
Yep.
So I like to set up the composition and then just, let's see
what happens. Yeah.
Obviously, I just step away from the camera if like,
but, you know what I mean? That's the beauty of video though. I think that's the beauty that is an option. And as well as that clearly, you know, your style isn't going to be this like mega run and gun, shaking the camera around, mega gimbal heavy, and all this sort of movement based videography style. And there's like, that's the beauty of like video and other businesses, is that you can just run it however you want to do it and what suits your style. Yeah. And I'm sure you'll find that like you said, like the couples that you're attracting are probably like really enjoy, like you probably really enjoy shooting with them and like having the days that you do, because there's probably most of the time not saying that there isn't any pressure, because obviously there always is, but there's probably a little bit less pressure than doing like a mega high end wedding, because like they're chill. And I actually find that, so basically in I want to say 2019 maybe 2019 I was shooting those types of weddings, so I were very much, I would say,
high end.
No. The very low end. The bottom barrel.
Could pay 200 quid in Snickers.
Obviously a joke, but I was shooting sort of like really, you know, low key weddings. I think it's fair to say low key, you know, very much lower budgets, much more simpler, stripped back. And I look back to those days, and I'm almost envious of how at the time I didn't realise. Not how easy I had it, but kind of like I had it a lot easier than I do now. That's like for a bunch of different reasons, but like I do look back and think, God, that was like such a nice time to just turn up, document in a really like almost like a photographer, just kind of like point and shoot the camera. Like it's fairly low key. I didn't have all these cameras and getting drones up and all this audio going, and you know, second shooters and stuff to like manage. But I guess. That's just the nature of how it flows.
Yeah, man. And there's also those, like, you look at Richard Lang's work, it's quite similar in the stripped back stuff. The pressure for him is sort of similar to myself as well. It's just, you do your thing. Because that's the sort of clients he's putting out there. Yeah. And so it's like those clients are there that have that budget. It's
that's it.
Hard. It's fine, but I
think that's what I should say, is like, I don't mean that just because you've got this like more chill
I get
approach. They're like
getting offended.
That you're not shooting like nice.
You get paid this much.
But that's great, mate. And I think so I want to take a little bit of the flip side of the coin now and talk about some like what are some of the personal challenges that you've faced in the industry, and like how have you overcome them?
So this could get really expansive, shall we say. So therapy has been amazing for me. I knew this conversation was going to come up, but I'm very open to talk about it. I think it's very
we discussed
important.
it off air.
Yeah.
So like whatever you're hearing now has been approved by Tony. But yeah, everything that we're going to chat about.
Films approves this message.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be more of like a deep dive into Tony. So yeah, I'll let you take it away, mate.
So it was this time. So I've definitely dealt with depression in the past. From one relationship, came out, did some things on my own that I thought sorted me out. Sadly, didn't. And then got to myself last year, feeling extremely down, unable to get out of bed, unable to do anything, to the point where I would have never done it at that point, but I was having suicidal thoughts.
Right.
Would never have acted on it. But if I had not addressed it then, who knows what it would have been like 6 months,
could lead to
12 months down the line.
Yeah.
So even though I say now I'd have never done it, if I hadn't sorted it out, who knows?
Yeah.
Let's fingers crossed, it would all be good. So my parents were aware of this, so they found a therapist. It was a family friend who has this therapist. Very fortunate. She's a head practitioner for the NHS. She has, I think, 4 to 6 private clients just because she likes helping people.
Yeah.
Started going to her and just really learning about myself more. You really deep dive into your true core. I remember having a conversation with her and she was just like, I am quite a heavy in therapist where I'm paraphrasing because she didn't say it like this, but it's like, essentially, I will break you, but that's going to help in the long run. But it's not for everyone. This sort of therapy isn't for everyone. So if that sounds like it's going to be too much for you, let's not work together. So I was like, no, I'm very open. Like, let's do this. This needs to be sorted. Yeah. So started with her, and then things just gradually got better over time. Like, you implement small changes over a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm seeing a big trend in like the fitness industry at the minute where it's like your morning routine. And it's like you wake up 4 a.m. It's like you at 10 a.m. you put your face in an ice bath, you have your nose strip. And all that's great, but they definitely, even if they do this, they didn't do all of that in one go. Yeah. Because like you probably watch that and go, oh, that's a lot. Yeah. That's too much. Yeah. Whereas I started, now I've got a morning routine, but it started off with I wake up, I have a glass of water, and that's my morning routine. Yeah. Do that for 2 weeks. Start simple. And then obviously the flip side to that is that you will get a little bit of a buzz off of a routine as well. Mm-hmm. Like you're checking something off a checklist. It's like, tick, I've done that. Literally. And that feels good. Like, and it's knowing that that's you looking after you. Yeah. That's your point in the day. Obviously, the more it expands, the more you're doing, but that's you looking after yourself. Yeah. And that just glass of water is going to hydrate me. It's going to make sure my mind's working properly. That's it. Yeah. I think that's the most important thing with running a business and being, you are your business. Like, even physically, you are your business. So like, swinging it back around to the weddings, it's, I think, super important to I feel guilty sometimes putting my physical self, like going to the gym, stuff like that. I feel guilty doing that over waking up in the morning and getting straight on my emails. Like, I feel guilty that I'm not, and that straight away in the morning, I'm getting up, walking the dog, then going to the gym. Like, that to me, I'm like, that's just a waste of time. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be good at gym. I should be doing my emails. And I'm sure there are other people out there that probably think like that as well. Yeah, of course. And I think that's just obviously a bit that I've got to work on, a bit, which I am doing. It's like trying not to feel guilty for taking, let's say, maximum 2 hours out of my morning to look after me and put my body first. Which is then just going to help you flourish your business. This is it. And it goes. Would you say it's like an overthinking type thing? Or not? Again. Would you say like it could be like overthinking a little bit? Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So a quote I heard I really love is that trying to think your way out of overthinking is like a coke addict trying to sniff his way out of an addiction. That's good, yeah. It's cool, just chill. There we go, that's a clip for me. There you go. I've got more. But no, that's going to put you in a good space, like moving in the morning, your circadian rhythm type thing, just like getting some sun in the morning, or if we get sun, just daylight. And then that's going to put you in a better mood. Then you're going to get home. Like, I know you don't really drink coffee, but have a coffee, have some breakfast. Yeah. I recommend, I'm not a nutritionist at all, so everything I say on this pod, take it with a pinch of salt. Don't put any salt in it, actually. Yeah. I don't know, enhance the flavour. Oh, enhance the flavour. Salt and pepper, then. Yeah. Not pepper and porridge, mate. But yeah, like, have a good nutritious breakfast. Not pepper and porridge, mate. Not pepper and porridge. Sounds like that's like the most British thing that's ever been said on this episode, on this podcast. Pepper and porridge. I think nutrition's a big thing that helps as well, like massively. I know when I was depressed, I was eating terrible food. I think this is maybe more of a personal thing for me as well. I used to be quite overweight, so I saw food as like an escape type thing. Yeah. But obviously, the more food you eat that's not nutritiously dense. Yeah. Because I don't want to label food as good or bad, because it's not. It's everything in moderation. But if you're having a lot of food that's not nutritionally dense, high in fats, like deep fried, it starts to make you feel terrible.
Yeah.
And again, the more I change my nutrition, again, slowly, like with the water for 2 weeks. And with nutrition, it may be bad for lunch and dinner, but I made sure maybe my breakfast is good.
Yeah.
I had porridge with some fruit and like some nuts and some flaxseed chia seeds.
How do you find, just to play devil's advocate,
Mm-hmm.
how if you say that you live on your own, right?
Yeah.
So living on your own, how do you find the discipline with that? And then how do you find that does that help with like workflow and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and how do you find the discipline to do that? Because I know for a fact that I spend most of the day on my own.
Mm-hmm.
My missus gets in from work really late, so I know for most of the day that if I want to have a cheeky biscuit, or maybe 5, maybe the whole packet, if I want to,
no one's opening the pack of Oreos and having one Oreo.
If I want to like really get into it, like I could do, and sometimes there's days where you think, oh, I feel a bit shit. I'm just gonna eat that or drink this bad drink or whatever it might be for certain people. Like, how do you? Obviously, you'll still have your bad days, but how do you find that?
Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
So the same way that if I spoke to you and I was feeling really bad, you wouldn't be like, hey, you shouldn't have had that, mate. It'd be like, don't worry, you just had one biscuit. Like, calm down. You had a pack of biscuits that one day.
Yeah.
Just get back on the next day.
What about if you do it for a week?
Then
just I'm asking for a mate.
Yeah. Just asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard. Like, obviously, again, I'm in a very fortunate position where I'm single. I live on my own. So, like, I don't buy the biscuits and stuff. They're just not in the house.
I suppose, if you've got that side of it, then
so again, I'm in that fortunate position. But I don't know, man. I'm not a PT.
So I don't know why we've gone into this.
No, it's good. It's good.
It's a sports podcast.
No, I get it though. It's harder when you got a partner, because then if they're not doing it, not saying your partner isn't, but like if they're not like involved as much as you,
that's it. Yeah,
it's going to cause a little bit of risk. So it's harder. But it's definitely making sure that you know that you're putting yourself first. Like, one of my things for the next relationship I get in is my non-negotiable is I go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
That's just not going to change.
That's fair enough.
Everything else,
I think that's absolutely fine.
Let's like push and change and like make sure we work together. But like, I think everyone should have a non-negotiable. Yeah, it's just like, this is what I do.
Oh, I think that's literally what. Yeah, if we're going to get onto that, I think that's literally what relationships are. Like, to me, like, you know, I think that's sometimes the beauty of relationships is the differences. Like, if you're both the exact same person, it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, really boring. Unless you're me.
Yeah,
it's dead good.
Little advert there, little plug. Anyone out there?
That's exactly like me.
How has your view of success changed since you joined the industry, specifically around wedding videography?
So, I like that one because it's definitely changed. I'd say both, they sort of tie in together, to be fair, but my idea of success has certainly changed. It used to be that a lot of money in the bank, like having nice things, wearing nice things, the whole stereotypical what people think they want. Or maybe some people do, absolutely. But that's changed over the years because as I've just got older, been through the life experience I've been through, it's like none of that really makes me happy. I got a new car, and even like, I know it's wrong, but I got a new car and I'm like driving it being like, who's looking at me? It's like, no one cares. No one cares about your car.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool, let's like, and I've grown as time goes on and gone, what I value in life is traveling, sharing experiences with people. Like, for me, I want to be able to go out with a friend or just take my mum out for lunch and just not have to worry about the bill. Yeah. Like, that for me is success. I suppose like from the wedding videography side, it's being able to charge the amount that I want to charge and do the set amount of weddings that I want to do. Yeah. So that's how I would see success in that field, and just having as many ideal clients as I can. Yeah. I think like there will be some that go through the cracks. But that's just life, isn't it? Like,
that's life.
We can't all be like the biggest videographer in the game.
That's it. And I think it's really important that I think there's a big thing in the industry at the minute about like everyone's chasing that. Everyone's chasing this like bigger
ideal client.
And I think it's because, and I keep knocking this in episodes, but I'm not meaning to knock it. It's just coming up. But like, I say it's coming up. I'm writing the questions.
Yeah. Funny that.
Funny you should say this.
Scripted this podcast.
But yeah, I think it's because I think it's a great thing. Education. Let's just say it, because I'll end up waffling. Education, I think, in the industry is great, full stop. There we go, boshed. I've sent that out. That's in the world. However, I just think there's loads of it happening, and like, it's at a time when there's a change in the industry, and I just think it's making people want to change their businesses for all of the wrong reasons, and wanting to chase something that they probably deep down don't really want to chase. It's not actually that important to them, and that's kind of what I was trying to get at.
No,
with the question, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. They see like the big players and be like, I want to be like that.
Yes,
it's like, they see like the big players and say, I want to be like that. It's like, do you?
Do you? Yeah. Do you actually?
There's not a problem with being in the middle market.
Absolutely.
There's not a problem with being in the lower market. There's so many videographers that are shooting weddings for cheap as anything, but they're doing like 100 a year, making like 85k a year.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing really well.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what I mean. Like, success is just so varied across the industry that like your vision of success might not what you see online of success to you might think, oh, that looks really good, I want that. Yeah. But in reality,
destination weddings.
Yeah, in reality, you don't actually want to do it. Now, destination weddings, it seems like you brought it up.
Yeah.
That to me is not the pinnacle of success, but for me personally, I love it. And it's not the fact that it's like seen as though, oh, look at me, I'm traveling.
Yeah.
There's like a tiny percentage of everybody that can't argue that it does feel a bit like that. When you get a destination, it's a bit like, oh, nice. I'm flying out,
sipping on a bit of Francis,
a bit bougie. Yeah, they don't see the behind the scenes of how shit it actually can be. Yeah. But having said that, the reasons I love it so much is it because it really drives me creatively. I found that I am much more in a happier space when I'm in a different country filming a wedding. I find it just instantly. I'm in a much more creative mindset. It seems more exciting because I am traveling. Yeah. I'm seeing the world, and there's all those little things. But yeah, what are your views on destination weddings?
So I did my first one last year, which naturally has then led itself to 3 more this year.
There we go.
These sort of things do. I've really enjoyed it. It was really good.
Where were you?
South of France.
Oh,
it was the Dordogne. I want to say it's Dordogne. Like I said it to the taxi driver. And he was like, "What?" Like, no, he's like, "Oh, I don't know." He's like, however he pronounced it. I was like, "Cool." I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. Just there's picture.
Yeah, there.
Oh, I know it very well.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. Like I definitely got lucky with because I think I don't know. Like, tell me if I'm wrong. I thought South of France was easy to drive in. And I've got Italy this year on the Amalfi Coast, and I feel like that's going to be a totally different experience driving there.
100%, mate.
Yeah, cool.
Get ready for it.
Cool.
Get ready for it, big time. I would say, whereabouts are you on the Amalfi Coast? Whereabouts?
Ravello.
I don't know that one. I've not been there, but yeah,
I never even heard of it. I'm there twice this year. Never even heard of it before.
Nice. You'll love it, and obviously the driving is such a small part of it. But yeah, it is. Italy is probably amongst the worst places I've ever driven.
Oh, awesome. We're gonna get cool.
So good luck with that one. Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, the first one I'm getting a taxi. The second one I'm gonna get a car. I'm gonna like see what it's like in the taxi.
Yeah,
sort of gauge it from there.
The main roads are fine, like getting out the airport, all that sort of stuff. It's when you get into like. It's like being in like the English countryside, but like on crack and and something's gone wrong. Like literally, it is difficult for parking. It's complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all have weddings where when you get into the editing stage, you think, right, I'm not quite feeling it, and sometimes you end up editing something in a way that you're not exactly. It's not bad, but it's not your best work.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that? And have you experienced that? Like, how do you handle it when like you deliver something that you're a bit like, oh, like it's not my best work, but it should get over the finish line?
Yeah. So it's that like. Luckily, I don't deal with perfectionism too much. I feel like as creatives, we all deal with it a little bit. And I heard this really good quote about perfectionism. It's perfectionism is procrastination masquerading itself as problem solving.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, we just, like, keep doing, like, little things. It's like, it's not actually doing anything.
You're not actually really changing it in the grand scheme.
I'm problem solving. It's like, you're just wasting an hour.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought that was a really good phrase, but I butchered it a little bit. I was saying it all in my car. I was like, you got this. Procrastination. No. Perfectionism. Procrastination masquerading itself as problem solving. You got it, Tony.
I'll put that bit instead.
Yeah,
I'll just cut to that.
That was the first clip that people see me as. Be like, who's this Tony fella?
That's brilliant.
Letting anyone on this podcast. But yeah, just like, I don't know, because like we've all got the backlog at some point, so we have to just sort of make that decision of this is done.
Yeah.
And also know that, because I think what's probably making us think the edit's not great is maybe it's not like the last edit, and we're comparing ourselves to the last edit.
This is it.
When it's a totally different wedding.
Yeah.
Totally different wedding, totally different vibe.
This is it, yeah, exactly.
They're going to love it, because as long as you're matching what they had on their day, it's fine.
Yeah.
But obviously we're just like, oh no, this is like the last wedding I had this sick music and it's just not working here. It's like, it won't again. It's a different wedding. It's cool. Like, it's reminding myself of that.
Yeah.
If you're getting a creative rut, then just taking a break, go for a walk if possible.
Yeah, it's sort of like, in a sense, not bigging us up, but I sort of am. It's sort of like when artists release music, like, not every single like track that they release is always going to be a banger.
Yeah,
and it's the same for us when we release, like when we send over films. Not every single film that we make, I think ultimately the couple are always going to love it.
Yeah,
they're always going to be like buzzing with it. You know? But I think for us, a problem that I have is that I'm constantly trying to like raise the bar personally to myself. Like I'm trying to outdo myself every single time, and it's like you're never really going to be able to outdo yourself. Every single film you deliver, because
unless it's the same wedding every time.
Yeah, and it's that's never going to happen unless you are shooting like 5 weddings a year and they're all bangers. Then that's a different sort of market. But generally, if you're shooting like between like 20 to, I don't know, let's say 40 for argument's sake for listeners, like not every single one is going to be a banger. You're probably going to be talking like, I would say when I was shooting higher numbers, like less of those weddings were actually like creatively bangers, like if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Because it would just,
where other videographers would look at it and go, oh, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think that is part of it as well. I'm sort of like, if I'm being honest, you are worried what you put out because you know that people are going to see it and look at it. From like the videographers, I mean, they're going to look at it and be like, oh, and I sometimes get worried and wrapped up in that thought of like, oh, they're actually going to like, they might critique this, but it's like ultimately you send it to the couple. If they love it, just send it out. Get it sent and delivered.
But no, those videographers that are judging are never going to be. I mean, any videographer is never going to pay your bills.
Yeah, that's it. That's a really
so. As much
thing.
as they might be like, I don't like that. I'm like, cool. You're never going to give me any money ever. You're never going to put food on my table. That client loves it. They've recommended it to all their friends. We've got repeat work from that.
Deep breaths, because we're going into it. We're going into it, Tony.
I'm in.
Okay, so the wedding industry, it can be quite a lonely, depressing place. Yeah. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
We shall continue then.
5 months have been that way. Yeah.
So I'm just wanting to open this box, really. I mean, that's partly why, one of the main reasons you're here, it's one of the main topics we're discussing. And I just want to see and hear, like, how you manage, like, the long hours, like the sort of being on your own a lot, all the managing the business, and then like the social media aspect. Like we've chatted about all of this. How do you manage it all? How do you feel? Let's open the box.
Yeah, man. So
open up to the room.
Yeah, open up to the room. In terms of like the work side of things, there's a thing called Parkinson's law, which I use, which is the time given dictates how long the task will get done. If that makes sense. So, like, if I give you a week...
Did you mention this recently?
Possibly online, yeah.
In the group chat?
Maybe.
Because I've seen this.
Yeah, it's quite a well-known
I think
thing.
You did.
Yeah.
And it's actually played on my mind since. I thought that's a really good way. I like that.
Yeah, it's like if I give you a week to edit this podcast, it'll take you a week.
Yeah, you did.
But if I say to you, like,
I think
take 3 months, it'll take 3 months.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like the busy season and I need to get stuff done, I'll literally pinpoint in my calendar, this wedding film needs to be done by this point.
Yeah.
And I just keep
give yourself like
way.
a strict deadline and be like, it needs to be like, it absolutely needs to be done. 100%. I think that's part of running a business as well. Like, what's very hard sometimes is the discipline side. Like,
because you haven't got a boss.
Yeah, there's only like I like to think that I'm quite disciplined in many areas and aspects of the job, but there are days when you're like, I just can't be bothered, and there's no one saying you must do it. Like you've got to do it. You haven't got to do it.
Yeah.
So you just have a day off if you want.
Yeah.
And it's that part of me. And rewiring that part of your brain, especially like you've just said, when you're going through like months of like where wedding season's not happening, you're not doing as much work, and you are just editing. It's dark outside, it's freezing, and you're on your own. It's like it's so hard to be disciplined.
Absolutely. I think, like say, the Parkinson's law thing helps. Different things to be productive with your time. So if you just like say you just can't be bothered, I'd then pick a task where it's not a creative task.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be creative if you can't be bothered. So it's like find something, I don't know, blogging, writing something, planning out the week or whatever, any of these little tasks you can do.
Yeah.
And then if you really get stuck in a rut where you just can't seem to just
get going, or whatever.
Yeah. Set a timer for 10 minutes and say I'm going to work for 10 minutes. That's it for the day. And then what you'll normally find is after that 10 minutes, you're deep in and you go, I'll just carry on working a little bit.
Yeah.
And that 10 minutes will just keep flying by.
Yeah.
And once that starts to become a habit, then be like, I do, 20 minutes working, 10 minutes rest, 20 minutes working, 10 minutes rest. For a certain amount of time, then you have like a half an hour rest.
Yeah.
So that helps.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, just planning out your day in different like sections, having sites or not having your phone with you, put it in a different room if it's possible, like in a drawer.
Yeah. I think it's about keeping things interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's quite, I think part of the reason for me, doing this job, why I loved it so much initially, why I really loved it, is that every day felt really like new and fresh and exciting, and I could just sort of do different things. And then obviously at first, like I was setting up my website, I was sort of posting videos to YouTube, or advertising, and all these new aspects like emailing and stuff like that. It's all quite exciting at first, and then all of a sudden, like any job, it just becomes the ordinary, the mundane, and you're like, this is boring. So I think that's why it's important to introduce, like you've introduced, like a bit of a routine, but also mixing it up a little bit as well. So like for me, I like sort of, in the morning, good at gym, walk the dog, stuff like that. It breaks things up. But at the same time, if I want to schedule in like just watching a Netflix show at 12 o'clock while I have my dinner or whatever, I can just do that for an hour, just watch an episode and then go back to editing. And it like kind of like almost resets your mind a little bit to like, oh, I've had a bit of time off, I can get back into it. The only thing that I find difficult with that is that if it's something that you're like mega into, for me, I get like hyper fixated on things. So like if I fall into that pit of like, oh, I feel I'm leaning this way, I try really hard not to dabble in it, because all of a sudden it'll be 3 hours have gone and I've just wasted the day then.
But I think what helps as well as the different things I've got for work, is what I found recently is doing stuff outside of the wedding industry. Yeah,
that's what I maybe should have said, stuff like that.
So I've joined a running club.
Here he is.
I hate running.
He's off.
I hate it.
He's running.
Despise it, mate. Despise it.
I'm sort of opposite Gump.
Tony Gump.
Tony Gump. That's brilliant. Oh, Tony Gump. And that needs to be a clip. That needs to be a
Tony Gump.
Tony Gump.
Just running, mate.
Just running, mate.
Just running, mate. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But just like meeting other people. I think that helps. Like joining the running club, I was like just meeting different people in different like industries.
Yeah.
Again, just making connections that aren't always weddings.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I just don't want to talk about videography sometimes. I'd rather talk about something else.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
because
finding
like,
people
you
you
have
can
other
connect
interests,
with.
And it's like you find that when you like go on Instagram or social media, because you're looking at that kind of thing, it's like you're littered with it everywhere almost, and you're like, oh, I don't want to even think about it. Yeah.
Set up a different account. So I've just set up like a different Instagram account and then just go on that. But then you start becoming like, again, with hyperfixation. Then I start getting hyperfixated with all the fitness stuff and stuff like that. And I'm like,
your hobby stuff, I think the important thing is just to mix up the process as well. Like sometimes it's nice to think I tried it year before. So I tried having the entire morning off work. I would never work in the mornings at all. I would get up, walk the dog, go to the gym. That's kind of like my routine. And then I'd come back and just not do any sort of work, like no editing, no emailing, no website tweaking, fanning around with that. Just like literally, I'd just watch a bit of telly or watch series or just do a bit of pottering in garden or whatever it were. I found that basically when I was working, my most productive hours were like quite late. As I've said before, like Tash gets in late from work. So I'm normally working until about when she gets in, so normally around like 7ish PM. So like if I go to the gym, get up, do all that stuff, and then I sit down. By the time I sit down, I probably sit down at around like 10, 11. And if I'm working all day, the only exception to that is that I'm going out and walking the dog at 5 o'clock, and then I come back and I'm working until 7 every single day. It's like I find that really dull. Like I almost like a routine. But I don't. I try and mix it up if that makes sense.
But it's also like you need to give yourself a day off.
And
but also, again, what I was saying before, give yourself grace. Be like, I'm going to have a day off.
I find that hard, mate.
Massively.
I think running a business, you're never really off because you've already got someone messaging you. And as soon as my mind's worrying about work, I think, well, I may as well just go and do some work.
You can give yourself one day if you can. Or even just like, if it starts with just half a day, like you were saying, you don't work in the morning, but then say, like, I don't work till 12 because everyone works at different times. For me, I'm more productive in the morning.
See, I'd love that. Like, I'd love that. I'm just not a morning person.
No, it's cool. You don't need to be.
I wake up and takes hours for me to just like come around.
And that's cool. I don't like feel bad about it. Just be like,
I don't feel bad about it. I just wish that I could be a morning person. I get up early, so that's what I don't understand. I'm an early riser. I wake up early.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I'm not actually with it until about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Right, he's in.
I'm in.
I'm locked in.
I'm on time. Obviously, talking about sort of the sort of harder aspects of the job.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about burnout.
Yeah.
Have you ever faced it?
Last year.
How do you like deal with it? How do you cope with it? What do you do to sort of
So
counteract?
that's where. So again, this is coming from the therapist that I spoke to. I still speak to. So I had burnout because it's like last year was a year I was like, I just need to shoot.
Yeah.
I just need to get as much experience in as possible.
Yeah.
And I just took on work, and it was just a hell of a lot to get through.
Yeah.
So definitely started to experience burnout, just tired, just no motivation. So spoke to my therapist about it naturally. And this is where an evening routine comes into play.
Okay.
So just being like, before you go to bed, like go for a walk, even if it's literally just to the end of the street, come back. I can't give you the science behind any of this, but I'm just going to tell you what she's told me. She's qualified fairly well, so again, though, just take it with a pinch of salt. Breaking the fourth wall again.
Where's Ryan Reynolds when you need him?
Stop breaking the fourth wall. So going for a walk in the evening, again, giving yourself grace to be like, the evening, I just need to chill.
Yeah.
Like the couple of hours before bed. Letting light gradually fade out. So I've got some Philips Hue lights.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So in my room now, I just set them so they start slowly dimming. So it's saying like, go to sleep.
Yeah,
it's time to go to bed now, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's
so interesting. Yeah, is that does that? Do you reckon that actually helps?
It does, and then like I say, with everything else we spoke about again, like the Parkinson's law, doing stuff like that, the motivation, the productivity sort of stuff, giving yourself 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Caffeine. I was recommended caffeine because I went off caffeine for a while, and then she was just like, maybe one coffee is going to be fine, just to create a little bit of alertness. But then not having caffeine after 12 for me, because I just find that I end up just not going to
12
sleep.
Midday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
So we're going to have a good time.
He's opened the box up, we're talking about this.
I'm in.
It's in, there's vodka in that as well.
Only a little bit.
Don't worry about the burnout too much, is what I'm trying to say, because it's inevitable. It will probably creep up.
Yeah. But have things in place.
That are going to that make it a little bit.
Start, like for me, I would say, if anyone is struggling, like relatively getting into the season, so to put some of these things into place now, like the morning routine, like slowly doing it, start with the water, and then add in little bits. Maybe meditation's your thing. Like meditation helped me. Like there's an app called Headspace.
Yep.
Which is really good. So I just do 10 minutes of that a morning.
Yeah.
Again, adding these things slowly. So when you get to the end of the season and you're in the burnout era, you're already armed with things to just be like, cool, maybe I'll do like 15 minutes of meditation in the morning now. Do a little bit more. So it's not just all going to hit you at once. Yeah. Because that's when it's harder to then try and recover
100%,
from.
100%, mate. 100%. During the like height of the season, that's like normally for me where I'm actually least depressed, least sad, least like self-critical, because you're in the thick of it, you're shooting, and it's exciting. However, there is parts of it where the pressure does get to you, and you start thinking, and you start to feel the sort of the pressure of running a business. So as that, have you experienced that, and how do you cope with that?
I think mine more comes at the end of the season.
Yeah,
I feel like when it's happening,
I'm the same.
I haven't got time.
Yeah.
I haven't got time to think about especially at a wedding where it's an events type scenario. Where
and I think that's
things
actually what
happening.
leads into it, because like I think the peak season is now, like these days, it feels like it's really condensed into like a few, like 5 months or something like that. It is for me. Yeah. And then it's like the rest of the time it's editing. Yeah. So I feel like you're non-stop for like 3, 4, 5 months, and then all of a sudden, poof, it ends, and it's like, right, it's dark.
Yeah.
It's really, I'm trapped inside, and it's like, crap, here we go again. So yeah, that's what sort of things do you put in place during peak season to keep sort of energized and like, what you just said, like what else are you doing to make sure that you're keeping up?
Yeah. Just making sure that I'm looking out for the nutrition side of things, like looking out for me. Yeah. And just knowing and listening to your body. Like, I like to go to the gym a lot. I'm really obsessed with like getting 10,000 steps in a day, like making sure I'm running, making sure I'm doing this. Yeah. Again, which has happened over a long period of time. It never started like this. Yeah. Again, these are just things that implemented over time, over the last 7 months. But also when it gets to the thick of season, if I'm tired, chill. Yeah. Don't force yourself to then go to the gym where you've got like clients to serve and you need to be at your best. Yeah. It's like, cool, like, today I'm just not in a good headspace. I won't go to the gym. I don't need to do 10,000 steps. It's just an arbitrary number that we've been told.
That's it. So you don't need
just
to.
chill.
Yeah.
Make sure you're getting your hydration in, make sure you're eating like nutritious food to help you out.
Yeah.
But also like, if it gets to a point where I'm really tired, that biscuit's not going to kill you. That pack of biscuits isn't going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, chill.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Balance, innit? I think
Exactly.
That's the key to life. It's the key to business, is just having the balance there in place. I'd like to ask you a question, and you can answer it with one word initially.
Okay.
And then we'll go into it.
Yeah.
Do you think there's enough talk within the wedding filmmaking industry around mental health?
I don't think so.
More than one word. Cancel.
Okay.
I'm joking. No, it's fine.
One word.
Yeah. It's fine, mate. But
No.
yeah, so what? So why?
No.
But why?
I just think it's a trend in general in any industry. Like, mental health isn't really talked about. It's definitely getting better. I think we've noticed that with anything. It's always getting better and better and better.
Yeah, on social media it seems to be that like everyone's talking about it, but then in reality,
But they don't talk about it to the point. And I get it. They don't talk about it enough. Maybe they're not comfortable talking about it. Yeah, which is absolutely fine. Like, if you're not comfortable sharing it, don't share it. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I think it's also they don't want to look, because obviously mental health and feeling bad can be seen as a negative thing, so they don't want to put themselves online saying that, because then, what if clients see that I'm struggling?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't want to book them. So it's like, you're thinking to help yourself personally, but then you don't want to give yourself a bad name in front of clients, because like, I like his work, but what if he gets depressed mid-season? He's going to give me my film. So it's this weird sort of like juxtaposition of like, what do I do?
Yeah. How do you find it? Do you share it online or?
Not really. Like, I've got my own like social space, so probably that's what helps, is finding other people to talk to.
Yeah.
Whether that is your friends, family, partner, parents.
Yeah.
Joining a club, and it doesn't have to be a running club, just anything like that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And like creating a connection to people you can chat to.
Yeah.
Which is really important. Finding friends that you can really open up to.
Yeah.
Finding other videographers you can chat to.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, and knowing that having that circle around you where it's a circle of trust, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I can open up and I'll be like, you know what, I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
I'm really down at the minute. And knowing that other person's going to be like, it's cool, man. I got you.
Yeah. I talk to loads of photographers and videographers, like we're in a group chat.
Yeah.
People talking that quite a lot, and that's nice. It's nice to be able to share it. Do you think it happens enough?
I think it's starting to then. I think we're starting to get to a place where we're talking about it more, hopefully.
Yeah.
And hopefully this conversation
This is it. It's partly why you've wanted on. I wanted to get you on to chat about this as well. Because it's not something I put out there about myself, and it's one of those things where, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. It's hard, like putting it out there to the public, the world, and like letting everyone in on it. It's not something that I feel like I need to share online, but at the same time, I think it's nice to have that sort of, to be seen, to be chatting about it. I think not in like an arrogant way, more of like just like, these issues happen. Like this is happening. It's almost the equivalent of like saying, I am here. I was here. Like, on a park bench sometimes. Help. I feel like help me.
Need help now. Just sinking in this sea. Like,
see that ship over there? I'm on it and I'm going down. Yeah. The industry can be quite a draining place to be, especially like as a creative. It's quite hard to be constantly like up in the game, and so when you're feeling like a bit creatively sapped and drained, what are you doing to sort of regain that creativity again?
Probably like reflecting on what's going on at the minute, looking at different aspects of life, why this has happened, what's made this come about, what am I doing at the minute to help that situation, and then from there, normally it's just because I'm not doing anything. I might not be moving. Again, I notice that we're talking a lot about the same things, but I do feel like they intersect with each other anyway. Like I say, the nutrition side of things, as well as moving about, listening to your body, stuff like that. Yeah,
I think, like, just to interrupt you, I think like you're absolutely right to like bang on about it, because the more we're chatting, it's it's really cementing with me that like, if I'm trying to think up something and create something, and that's obviously like coming on, it sounds really naff, but it's coming from within. It's coming from within me.
It doesn't sound
my brain.
Yeah.
Like for in order to get like the most optimum result, whatever you're putting inside to your body and whatever you're physically doing to to your body and your mind ultimately. Surely that obviously will have an effect, on what the creative output is.
Yeah, it's all interlinked with each other, right? The more you look after your mental health, the more you look after your physical health. Like my therapist, I said to her, it's one of those things. I go to the gym to look after my body. I come to therapy to train the mind.
Yeah.
And it's like those two things now.
Wax on, wax off.
Exactly. Wax on, wax off.
It sounds like a Mr. Miyagi quote. I like it. But...
Yeah. I'm big on my quotes, man. But in terms of like after that, after reflecting and looking back and seeing what can change, seeing how I can improve upon that, again, giving yourself grace, just be like, it's cool. It's completely... I don't think we tell each other ourselves this enough. It's like what we're feeling at that moment is completely understandable. You've just been shooting like absolute crazy. You're going to be tired. You're going to be burnt out. You're going to like lose this creativity that you had at the start, and that's normal. Yeah, it's cool. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself, which is obviously easier said than done. I get it. Which again, we loop back to all the different things we do for the mental health at the start of the season, so we can pull on them at the end of the season. Yeah, do you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
That was good, isn't it?
For the audio listeners again.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
He did a sort of wave movement with his arms.
Yeah, so we'll just watch on YouTube, innit?
Just watch on YouTube, you'll see it.
But then, maybe giving yourself a little... Again, you will feel guilty for it, which is natural, but try not to, is maybe giving yourself a day's break. Realise, and then what got you into videography or whatever your profession is in the first place, and revisiting that. So for me, it's like I say, I really love shooting for the highlights. I really love symmetry. I really love just composing beautiful shots. Yeah. So go out there and do that, but not in the wedding industry. Yeah. And just like... Yeah, if you're on holiday, maybe take a camera, and if you've got time, just have a little play and do it for fun. If it's not going to feel like fun, don't do it. Like, don't force that. But if you're in a space where you can do that, do that.
So just to go back, there's something that you said there that I want to just pick up on. Mm-hmm. I want to be, I guess, like, I keep saying this, but like devil's advocate, I guess, on this point. So I'm not having a dig. I'm just curious to know. So you keep saying the phrase of like. Shooting for the highlights, which is fair enough. Like that is the thing. Mm-hmm. Are you offering feature films? And like, if you have to do a feature film, a longer film, I can't really know how long your highlight films are, but like, I'm assuming like, let's say 5 minutes or in that area.
So I've got 3. So I don't mind talking about that. So I've got 3 different ones, but it can obviously go longer if the client wants something longer. It can be more bespoke, depending on what they want. Yeah. Do
you tend to find that you do just mainly highlights then? Do you not? Do
so I do like an 8-minute one. So I've got the highlights film, which is just a highlights film of like I think 4 to 5 minutes. So it doesn't include ceremony and speeches. The next one is a creative film, which is up to 8 minutes long. Yeah. And then the next one is a feature, which is anywhere between 13 to 15 minutes long. Yeah. But again, if the client's like, I want one longer, I'm like, cool, then I'll bring up a price of the longer one.
And are you sort of offering both? I'm just trying to get like your perspective on what you're offering, and then like that will then feed it back into your workflow type of thing. But so are you offering just a sort of a film and then the rest of the, like, obviously, I should offer, your speeches and your ceremony and that kind of thing. Because I'm offering like a highlight and a feature at the same time. So is that what you're doing?
So they get that as well. So because I think clients at the minute, and you'll know more than me, they're wanting a bit more for their money. Yeah. Maybe that's not the case, but that's what I'm finding.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Is that this videographer is offering a creative film with a highlights film and so many speeches, and it's cool, I need to put food on the table. I'll offer that.
Please try it.
Yeah. So like, the highlight film is just on its own, mainly because from a marketing standpoint, I don't want them to go for that. I want them to go for the creative film package because it's like financially it makes more sense for them to go for it because it's priced that way. Yeah. It's just more fun to make a creative film for me.
100%.
8 minutes is like a good amount of time for me to really play with the narrative. And feature film, hardly anyone goes for that, which is good. Yeah. Because I hate it.
That's what I'm going to say. Like, do you not enjoy? Because I sort of... I really mix between how I feel. So when I'm in the thick of the season and I'm shooting loads and then I'm having to edit feature films, there is a part of me that's like, I just really have not got the energy for this. Yeah. Especially like once upon a time, I was doing them really creatively. So I was applying the same logic to a feature film as I was a highlight. Which is just like a recipe for just total like burnout. Like it is so hard to make something so engaging for like 15-20 minutes. Yeah. Than like a 3-minute highlight. I can make that really funky. And I think the other thing to that is with a 3-minute film, because it's not too long, you can get creative with it. 3 to 5 minutes or whatever. Like, you can get creative with that. Something that's like 15-20.
Yeah, when there's not a lot of dialogue at the wedding.
You just don't need to go crazy with it. Like it just needs to play out as the day happens. Exactly. Obviously, a huge part of running a business is like SEO. And I see that I'm having a little stalk on your website. And it seems very like you know what you're doing with SEO.
Ranking a little bit.
SEO, SAS. But yeah, it seems like you know what you're doing.
Save our site.
Save our site. That's good, that. Quick thinking.
Thank you.
But yeah, it seems like you know what you're doing. Like, how
a little bit.
How important has that been, do you think, to you and your business?
Massively. I think with any sort of marketing aspect, you go with what you are good at and try not to worry too much about the things that you're not good at. So with me, I don't like social media. Definitely still use it, but I know I like SEO and I focus on SEO, so let's put more eggs in that basket than this basket. Still have eggs there though.
Plenty of eggs.
Yeah, plenty of eggs. Just get hens, is what I'm trying to say. But I'm quite fortunate that one of my friends has a marketing agency, and she's an SEO expert. Yeah. Because she's a very close friend, she's taught me quite a few stuff for free.
A few tricks of the trade.
Yeah. And so I'm writing a SEO course at the minute. I just need to actually finish it. Okay. But I feel like I also need another year to get that authority of like, this is what I've ranked for, and it to be so much. So what I try and do is rank for, so any like new tips for anyone getting into SEO is to, obviously blogging helps, and making sure you're looking for keywords. So what I mean by keywords is what people search on Google. So an easy one is your location. So if you're based in Leeds wedding videographer, it's probably going to be quite hard to rank for that, because I imagine there's probably quite a few guys out here.
Yeah, competitive.
The website's been running longer. So.
Is it a little bit like hashtags then? So do you want to kind of like sort of go for the bigger, obvious ones, but then also niche down?
Depends on your authority score. Okay. So if I'm pretty terrible with SEO. Yeah, no, there's a website called SEMrush, which you can type in your website in, and it'll tell you your authority score. So what Google gives your website an authority score. The higher your authority score, the more likely you are to rank for certain keywords.
Interesting. Okay.
The way to up your authority score is to have backlinks. I don't know why that's such a thing, but it's what Google's decided, and we just obey the Google overlord. So the more backlinks you have, the better. The more backlinks from higher authority websites, the better. So going on like wedding directories
so it plays a part.
So like being on a wedding directory from there's one called La Lista. They might have a really good authority score, so that's going to do you some favors to have a backlink from them.
Right.
So it's good to be a part of the directories. It may not, like a lot of people say, we don't get much work from wedding directories, but it's like, well, as long as you're getting a backlink, like it's still cool. Yeah. Like it may still help in the long run.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is start ranking for keywords. So like I said about the Leeds wedding videographer, you might struggle to rank for that. It might still be worth having that as your homepage keyword.
Yeah.
So every page on your website should be optimized for one keyword, and that's it.
Okay.
Otherwise, Google's going to get confused. So that's when you start writing blogs. So say for leads, you might go on to Google Ads as a keyword planner, or Ask the Public is a good one, or Uber Suggest. All these relate into each other.
Okay.
And there's a keyword planner or the keyword finder, and you type in the keyword you want. So say like Leeds wedding videographer.
Yeah. And
it'll show you different options of that.
Yeah.
Keyword. So there might be like venues in Leeds, wedding videographers in Leeds.
These are like the alternatives then.
Yeah. So as you're new, try and rank for the ones that still get search volume but very little.
Yeah.
So when I was in Cheshire, I started writing loads of blogs about the top 5 wedding venues in Cheshire, the top 5 wedding venues in Wilmslow, which is a place in Cheshire, and like different towns, and creating all these keywords that maybe only get like 5 searches a month. But still, it's enough that you rank number one.
Yeah.
And Google's starting to start noticing that. Other people are going to start seeing it. They might backlink to you.
Yeah.
It's a way to start naturally getting backlinks, and the more your authority score then goes up, you can then start targeting bigger keywords. So one I've just done is Dordogne, the region in France that I shot at.
Yeah.
I've started creating content around that. So now I rank, I think it was number 1.
Here we go. So I think it was.
I think it was number 1.
It's number 1.
Yeah, it's number 1. It's number 1.
It's number 1. But that's it. I guess that's like such a good way of like, it's almost, I guess not old school, but it is an old school approach of marketing. Like when people think of marketing these days for wedding films, certainly I do. I think of like Instagram ads and like posting to Instagram, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think doing this, I think people are missing a trick on that. I think that's definitely something,
especially in the videographer space.
Yeah, 100%.
Photographers are all.
It's something I'm slacking on. I don't really have anything to do with it because I've always like the way I've seen it is I've always dealt fine without it.
Yeah.
But like this is something that maybe I should implement. So I guess that's my next question for you. How important do you think it is to you and your business, but also how important is it for other videographers doing it, established or new?
So for me, it's really important. Some of my highest paid clients have come from finding me on Google.
Really? The Instagram game is so overly saturated at the minute, and everybody's on Instagram. Everyone, all the sort of influencers, educators, whatever you want to sort of paint them as. They're all on about Instagram boost Instagram ads, the target Instagram client, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's great, but if everybody then just shifts into Instagram, one, what happens if Instagram goes? That's my thing. If Instagram were to just vanish, what's left? In the early days, it would really spread like Google, Facebook, and Instagram when it came into it. But yeah, it was like really quite spreading like word of mouth. But now, like with the type of audience I'm shooting, I'm not really finding that word of mouth is really a big factor. It is still there, but it's not as big as it once
was. Planners.
Yeah, planners is another one, to be fair. Planners, that's opened up, but that's like not exactly direct to client, if that makes sense. Like I want, whilst I appreciate planners and I love that that's an option, it's nice to have a multiple choice. Yeah.
Different baskets.
Different baskets for different needs.
Exactly.
But yeah, there we go. So
important
I think it's
for myself, and I think for other videographers, it's just an extra avenue.
Yeah.
It's that even if you do get like one inquiry a month from it, it's still just an extra bit that's going to add to your revenue. Even
if they're not actually even inquiring, it's still getting you, it's putting you out there, and it's still putting you in that market. It's an extra...
People are still visiting your website. They're still like, Google also knows how long people are staying on your website, so to then recommend it.
Yes,
so if you write a blog post that's boring, and then someone visits it and just leaves straight away, Google's going to know, cool, no one spent time on that, let's lower that in the rankings.
Right.
So it's making sure that, it's really annoying, making sure what you create's engaging and worthwhile.
Yeah.
You can't just write rubbish, is what I'm saying. It's really annoying.
You can't just chuck anything at the wall and let it stick.
Shit, it makes complete sense as well.
Which is really
it's
actually really factually just the correct. You've kind of answered everything I wanted to chat about with SEO. Is there anything that you wanted to, anything else you wanted to add to that?
Hopefully my course would have been ready by now and I could plug it. But
if you're listening to this next year, 2026,
next year I will have an SEO course where we can talk, because I think with SEO, as soon as you've got the basics down, it's just a case of rinse and repeat. It's the same process throughout everything. So as soon as you know everything, then it's like, cool, I can just carry on. Next blog post follow the same theme.
It's got me thinking, are people doing this in secret? Are videographers doing it in secret and not really speaking about it? Are you?
I am. No, I mean, they don't advertise it, right? Like, it's just something you do on the back end of your website.
Unless it seems like quite like a good, not sneaky, but it's like a... like I say, it's an old thing. To me, it's like more of an old school way of like advertising.
But it's like you shoot venues like probably not a lot of videographers go to, so you'd probably rank quite easily for it because there's not a lot of content around that venue.
And there's probably not a lot of people doing this. Like doing the, what's it called? Bootlegging?
Backlink. Bootlegging.
But you know what I mean? Like there's probably not people doing that as well, which makes me think, it's something to explore.
There's a lot to go into it. But if you need any help, man, like after this, just drop me a message. To answer any questions on
it. That's wicked. I'm not going to put this bit in the episode. I'm joking. Just keep it for me. Talk me through what would be your like dream wedding to shoot.
Saucy.
There's a question for you.
Yeah.
He's having to think on the spot.
Really have, mate. Really have. So in terms of light, I want it to be like this as it is today. So no clouds, just so we have a constant.
Ray of sunshine.
Yeah. Just like consistent. I hate it when it's like cloudy. Yeah. And then it's like you expose and then it's like goes cloudy. It's like you're trying to expose again.
Yeah.
So,
in and out. Yeah.
So constant like just natural light all the way through with no clouds during the day. Space for a decent amount of shade during like the drinks reception. So the couple are like truly just madly in love. Yeah. So like they just don't care what anyone else thinks. They're very emotive with it in terms of the way they would express it through their dialogue during the speeches and the ceremony, like intimate vows. In terms of aesthetic, I love a stately home.
Do you?
I love a stately home, mate.
Nice.
I don't know why.
They just look good.
It's mint, black tie. I think black tie looks just boss, like everyone wearing black tie.
Yeah.
Even the women. Just black, black tie, everyone. But all men in black tie. Just a decent crowd where they're all there for just connecting with each other. A wedding weekend, I'd say, as well. So you have the welcome drinks on the Friday, the wedding on the Saturday, and then the pool party on the Sunday.
That as well, because you feel like you really get to know the family and the couple. Like you really get to know people. So I think that's like
a couple. It's good as well because they get to say hello to everyone on the Friday. So they're not trying to do that on the Saturday. Yeah. Obviously, this is all like money. If they've got the money to do that, it's not everyone can just be like, oh, cool, I'll just have a 3-day wedding, mate.
3-day wedding,
yeah.
Amazing stuff.
So
what is one thing photographers could do to make your life easier?
leave.
Leave the room.
Let me do everything. I'll just take stills from the quits. Don't worry about it. I'll just do this every now and again. I don't know, like most photographers I work with now are sound.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any issue. Like some of them, like as long as they're just like courteous about what they're doing as well, it's really sound. So I had some that just like, oh, I'm going to use flash. Is that all right? I'm like, yeah, sound.
Yeah.
You need to do your job.
Yeah.
Like I'm not here to stop you being able to give your client what they're paying for.
Yeah.
Like it's cool.
I think the thing is as well, you've just got to learn to adapt. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You're both there to do a job, and it's almost the same job.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think
communication.
When photographers say stuff like, oh, I'm going to use flash, some videographers, I think nowadays probably not, but a few years ago, some videographers would have been like, oh, absolutely not.
They're flashing all the time.
Yeah, I just don't care. There is points of the day where I'm a bit like, oh, do you really need to do that?
Yeah.
Especially like when you're like, it's really trendy at the minute to like do like outdoor, like not the outdoor flash that people thinking, but they know the modern version.
Yeah.
The trendy outdoor flash magazine Vogue type look,
which can be quite good. Because I agree, but then what I found,
it can be good.
Yeah,
in the day, I'm a bit like, this is just killing my stuff. But it's easy
the
to
slow
work
shutter
around.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I just like only comes to you in slow
shot.
shot. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah.
So it's like trying, because again, looking after your mental health, being like, there's nothing I can do about this.
Yeah.
Let's vibe with it. Because the more you start working yourself up during the day, you're going to get more annoyed with the photographer, and you're not going to give a good product at the end. Obviously, there are some, but it's not just photographers. There's videographers, there's florists, there's planners, there's every person. You can't predict what personality is going to be there on the day. Some of them may not get on with you, and you may not get on with them. So it's about just being like, cool, grit your teeth, get through it, and then hopefully you never work with that person again. But it happens, right?
Yeah,
it just happens. Yeah, and you just roll with the punches.
And that's it. That's exactly it.
And just build your connections, and hopefully they recommend you, and you always have a good time.
Do you think that social media has made weddings more about the aesthetics rather than the emotion of the day?
Completely agree. That's it. No. Yeah, I do agree. But I think we are getting to a point now where we're bored of that. And I think couples are bored of it. And I think just as a society, we're bored of the polished look. Yeah. Like, you look at a guy in the fitness industry called Sam Sulek. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
he's this 20-year-old bodybuilder guy. He's massive, and all his content is just him with a tripod with a phone in horrible lighting. And it's just him in between sets, and just gonna, and it's just that for like a minute. But it's so authentic. And I think that's where we're going as a society in the world at the minute, is we're just bored of the polished look. Which is sort of a shame, because I do like composing my shots really nicely and looking at the light really nicely. So I'm hoping it's more just the whole cinematic thing that people are getting bored of, and they just really want the more authentic moments. And mate, I've got a nice camera, you've got a nice camera, we're going to make it look polished. But it's more, I think, if we can try and make that more authentic. So put it in those moments. And I have toyed with the idea of like doing reels with the speeches and stuff like that, but I'm like, does it fit the brand and stuff like that? It's hard, isn't it?
It's hard.
So like, what you want to do.
What's the most emotional thing you've seen at a wedding? Something that's really got you?
This is on my Instagram. It's a bride that I really got on with. She's actually a therapist as well. So you see,
it fits in for the episode.
But it's quite interesting. But it's quite interesting.
Back like his SEO.
Yeah, exactly. We're all backlinking and bow linking to each other. It's all good. That's all life is. Just a bunch of zeros and ones. But yeah, it's funny how like that's what I try and put out there, so I attract that sort of thing. So I found it quite like fitting that she was a therapist as well. Not that I am. But yeah, she was, I think she was really ill. So I can say this just because she's allowed me to put it on my Instagram, so it is public. I won't go too much into it, but there was a thing where she nearly lost her life, so it gave her a new lease of life when she survived. And that speech that she gave was just extremely powerful. So I put that out online because it's more, I think it was quite female empowering as well. So I asked her if she's okay with putting it online. Yeah. Not just about men. Not just about men. But then the dad did it. Then the dad did a really nice speech as well. He had such a radio voice.
Did he?
Like, he was born for the radio. So it's like he nailed the intro to that film. Yeah. So that one was the most emotional one that I've been through so far. There was just tears all day. And then, I don't know about you, I get quite emotionally involved sometimes in the wedding.
Yeah, massively.
Like, where I just see stuff. Like, there was another one where the dad was like a MMA fighter, or like something to do with that, or an ex-MMA fighter. So he was very hard-faced, like showed no emotion in the day. Saw his little girl in the morning and just like, yeah, you look nice. Just because he was that sort of character, like he just didn't show emotion.
Yeah.
So we went through the whole day, did the speech, still no real emotion.
Yeah.
Then got to the evening, and the father-daughter dance happened, and he buried his head in her like shoulder. I found out afterwards that he buried his head and went, "I really love you, little girl," something like that.
Yeah.
She then broke down. There was not a dry eye in the room.
Yeah.
Just because you just saw this guy who showed no emotion all day just break down. Like, to give that back.
Yeah.
And just be able to, like, if her dad like doesn't show much emotion, to be able to have that moment captured on film. It's
and
like,
you've done it.
This is the point where I've seen him do that.
Yeah.
And then because no one heard him say something to her.
But she'll know.
But she'll like watch that back and be like, that's the point where he said something to me.
Yeah.
Because she went like, I can't know if I could say it.
I got it right, 85 as well. Like
I was right in there.
Yeah. What, if you're comfortable talking about this, I haven't brought this up to you at all, so I'm just gonna chuck that grenade in there.
Fire away.
I will.
I am in.
I'm committed. So, if you're comfortable, what is the biggest mistake you've made?
I've said it like, there's loads. You know what? Every wedding is somewhere.
Which one do I bloody choose?
Yeah. It was definitely, I think with everyone, it's at the start of the career, right? Where you learn all your little mistakes.
Yeah.
But it was one, and I'll never do it again, where I did the wedding video in the day and then the band in the evening.
Okay.
So my head's in two spaces, which I'll never do again.
This is a new market.
It's not.
It's
like,
not.
I did it once. I'd never do it again. It was so stressful. So we were doing the speeches, and then something happened on the card where on the Sony it's like press enter for something. I always remember that two words, and I didn't know what was going on. The speech was happening, so I like pressed enter, like took the SD. I didn't take the SD card out. I just pressed record again, and it wiped the first bit of the speech, and the speeches have been going on for like 45 minutes at this point. So one camera didn't have an angle.
Yeah.
So I was just like so worried and like didn't know what to do. I thought, all right, I'm not going to check my camera because I still need to perform in the evening. Yeah. And if I know that's gone, my performance is going to be terrible for this couple.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just leave it. Don't think about it. And then got home, realised it was gone. Like just fretting, didn't know what to do. And I think this is good for anyone new starting as well. Just be dead honest.
Yeah.
I just emailed the couple, just being like, listen,
this is it.
This is what's happened.
Yeah.
I've got the audio, so you can still hear what's being said. Yeah. I just don't have this angle.
And it's the nature of live events. Like, that is that is the shit side and the shit reality of it, is that everyone's probably got a story similar to that, so you're not alone in that.
No,
and
of
like,
course.
it's just the nature of these high pressure situations where it's live and you can't retake it. And it's just,
you're working on your own.
You do your best. You know, no one purposely goes out the way to ever do anything like that. So it's like, every single wedding. I'll try my best. It just always goes so perfectly.
As soon as you get to the first kiss, just stop record.
Just stop.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just said to him, I was like, I'll offer you like a monetary refund. Like, I was just like, I really feel awful about it. And they were just like, I don't want to see myself anyway. Cheers.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. And I was like, cool. And I was fretting for weeks.
For no reason.
Just being like, what do I say? What do I do? Do I lie? And it's like, no, just be dead honest and open about it, and you'll probably be sound.
If you had to sum up like the craziest wedding that you've shot, what would that be?
I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's going to say crazy, but the one that comes to mind is, again, like I've stopped gigging so much with the band now, but it was one where I was gigging on the Friday night. I couldn't get out of it for whatever reason in Cheshire.
Okay.
Finished at midnight. Then I forgot so I had a wedding the next day filming. Forgot my suit, so I had to drive from midnight to my house, pick up the suit, and then drive to South Wales. So I was like, because the wedding was in Cardiff the next day, so I was like, right, just go. It was like ETA was like 3 a.m.
No way.
And then it gets worse. So yeah, we got to this point where it's just like the sat nav told me to turn off. I was just so tired, I forgot, and I just joined a queue. And I was in that queue for another 3 hours, and I got to the like hotel at like 6 a.m.
Shut up.
And then obviously I had to be up to then film the wedding on like 2 hours sleep. And I just remember sinking coffee. I don't know how I got through it.
Mate,
it's one of my favourite films as well now.
Really?
Like, I was like, I watch it back, I'm like, well done, man.
Yeah, you got through it and you smashed it.
Yeah. But it was lucky, it was a nice wedding. Like, the aesthetic was lovely. It was, again, a stately home. So I was in my vibe. I was in my safe space.
We're approaching the end of the podcast. And I'd just like to arc it back to the main topic of the sort of day. And that is, for someone starting out, what would you say is the most important thing for them, like, from like a mental and physical sort of perspective. So not sort of like, oh, you must do this to have a successful business. It's more like the emotional side of it, I guess.
Limit what you're looking at, and don't like get so consumed, because there's going to be different content you're going to see online that's really going to then craft the way you think. So try and limit that as much as possible. Like I mentioned with the just looking after yourself as much as you can do. You will get burnt out, you will get tired, there will be times in the season where you're just like done, but that's why with what we mentioned before is making sure that you're implementing some of these stuff now, maybe not all of it, but just a little bit of it, so you can then pull on it later on.
In 3 to 5 years time, where do you see yourself?
On a beach, mate.
On a beach, mate.
Chilling.
With it in the business, like where do you want the business to go? And where do you see yourself? Like, are you like in terms of your mental health side of things? Are you hoping
more of an advocate for it?
Yeah,
massively more of an advocate for it. So I really want to start looking at courses to do with counselling and being able to help more I can. Men's mental health is quite bad. I'm not saying women's isn't, by the way, but yeah, men's mental health is quite bad. It's a preventable disease where we can like try and help it.
Yeah.
So I get quite passionate about that. So I want to learn more.
And that's great.
And be able to help more with that.
Yeah.
In terms of the business, I want to just keep. It sounds generic, but letting it grow.
Yeah.
And just like getting bigger.
In what aspects? What are you hoping? Like, what are you visioning? To paint the picture.
Yeah, I want to get into more of the high end style.
Yeah.
Not putting different players on pedestals as well. I think that's a big one that'll help anyone just getting started as well. Like, not looking at people being like, this guy, like, because like when I first started, I don't want to say his name again because I just feel like it's got to give him a big head if he listens. But like Richard Lang, I was just like, oh my god, it's Richard Lang, like he's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's just a normal dude.
Yeah.
And like, he's just been in longer, and you could be the next Richard Lang.
Yeah.
So like, it's more having more belief in yourself, not putting people on pedestals.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's anyone like listening as well that just wants to reach out, I'm more than happy to have a chat.
Oh, super kind of you. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be people. I'm sure you'll get a lot of messages after this, mate. I'm almost positive. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. We have had some technical difficulties halfway through, but you won't know this, but we do. But yeah, no, thanks so much. And
so good, man.
Where can people find you?
So my website, Tony Hassall Films. So it's Hassall, Hassall.
Don't worry about that. You're ranking on Google. You're fine.
That's true.
Just type in Tony.
Just type in Tony, and I come up straight away. Type in T. And I was, oh, Tony. You mean you must be Tony Hassall.
Is that good? Is that bloody good?
Yeah. Tony Hassall Films across all social medias and website.
Nice, simple. Yeah.
That's definitely like when you first started, is like trying to make sure that all those match right.
I'm terrible, mine don't.
Yeah.
I need to change that.
Well annoying, isn't it?
But yeah. So I'll get to it. Thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
No worries. Cheers, man. Thanks for having me.